Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. My name is Raghav Jagannathan. Welcome to this ILTA webinar on Inside iManage, Outlook, and Microsoft Word, how an intelligent agent powered by KLapper can deliver context-aware AI to attorneys. Once again, my name is Raghav. I've been working with AI since 2018. I've spoken at many conferences worldwide, including the recent ILTACon conference, as well as the Microsoft SharePoint and Copilot Symposium that happened a couple of weeks ago, organized by ILTA in Chicago. I've also written a fair number of blogs and articles on ILTA, and I'm a regular contributor to ILTA cause and also the peer-to-peer magazine. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called KLST. We are the leading digital services provider for law firm. We work with approximately 32 law firms, around 25 mid-sized firms, helping them with Microsoft 365 application development and SharePoint intranet, extranet implementation. Today, I'm representing the company Clobot Inc. I'm the founder and CEO of, which is a legal tech, AI-powered legal tech company. We have 3 products as part of the company. KLapper, which is a product that we are looking at today, which is a private AI, secure AI agentic builder platform. We also have 2 other products called NetDocShare and iMDocShare for integrating NetDocs and iManage with Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So today, our webinar is primarily going to focus on how you can surface intelligence that is hidden within your iManage content, right within iManage, or right within emails, that is powered by not just the content that is within your email, but also you can pull in intelligence from other knowledge sources, from iManage, from other legal applications, KM platforms. I'll attempt to show that in the context of Microsoft Outlook, how you can draft and reply to emails, in Microsoft Word, how you can easily draft in contracts. Before we get started on all that, I would request everybody to respond to a couple of survey questions that we're going to open up right now. Just helps us understand how you use generative AI today and what sort of tools you might be using within iManage specifically to surface intelligence. So while you respond to those questions, we are grateful that you respond. Thank you so much. While you respond, let me get going here. So KLapper is a private AI platform. So it's a platform that is uniquely different from anything out there in the market, because it's a platform that is hosted by the law firm within the Microsoft Azure tenant. So anything that KLapper learns, anything that KLapper connects within your firm stays within your firm. The KLapper's RAG database plus the model it uses, the agents use, the large language model, that's also hosted within your private Azure tenant. So we basically use Azure OpenAI or Azure Claude to power these agents that use these private large language models hosted in your tenant to learn documents from iManage, from NetDocs, or from SharePoint, or from many different sources, including SQL Server or Web API-driven applications, and really learn the data, where the data lives, store that securely within its RAG, which also lives in a tenant, which means that end-to-end, from learning through to access, through to prompts, through to getting information or getting KLapper to do stuff for you, everything is 100% private with zero access to any vendor, including us. And beyond the KLapper chatbot capabilities, where it can chat with you and surface the intelligence hidden within your knowledge applications, it also has agentic capabilities where you can build very smart skills, as you can see on the screenshot, where KLapper can do stuff on your behalf, like do timesheet on your behalf, for example, or do an expense claim on your behalf, or approve items on your behalf. And as I kind of do a quick demo of our KLapper agent running within iManage Work Web, you would notice that one of the things that KLapper does so well is not just learn the data, the content inside the document, OCR or non-OCR in iManage. It can also learn the metadata, security permissions, ACL, and iManage wall, SPM. So rest assured, the content you access within KLapper agent in iManage Work Web is the content you're allowed to see in iManage. You will never be able to see content that you're not allowed to see in iManage, or for any other application for that matter, because KLapper always learns the security on the data and the walls, not just the content. So before I start off with the demo, I just want to share a quote from our esteemed client, Mike Kolb, who's the Chief Operations Officer of Dickinson Wright, who are extensively using our platform to create agents that are powering the intranet as well as other applications, including the practice of law. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to quickly switch over to my demo. So I'm here within Cloud iManage, where you can see here I'm within a workspace, and right within the workspace, you would see that I have an agent tab that is opened up here. Now, you are not going to be able to see this in your iManage tenant because of the fact that you would need to install the KLapper private AI platform on your Azure, and then you have to install the iManage approved store app called KLapper add-in for iManage Work Web. You have to install that within your tenant. And once these two are ticked off, then you would be able to see this AI agent seamlessly surface within any workspace you navigate to. Now, what this agent does is provides you contextual awareness, contextual intelligence, which means that it knows who you are, and it basically starts answering questions based on what you have access to in iManage. So what I'm about to do here is show you guys a series of scenarios of how this agent has already understood the content in iManage and will be able to kind of surface intelligence to me as I ask. So I can navigate to any folder, any subfolder, and this agent is ready, waiting for me to interact with. So I'm going to start a new conversation with this agent, and I'm going to ask it a series of questions just to show you how you can interact with your content without necessarily knowing what content lives where, and being assured that you can only see content that you're allowed to see, both from a security perspective and walls perspective. So let me ask this first question. So Northwind Traders, this is the matter that the attorney is representing, and I know for a fact that this intelligence is hidden somewhere in this document hierarchy of folders and subfolders in this workspace. And the KLapper agent basically gets into action, and it's basically doing a quick search, and it's trying to extract out that key intelligence that I'm asking it to give me. So you can see here, it very quickly answers the question, and it's thinking through all the different documents it found that information in, aka citations. So you now have the ability to kind of click on any of these citations and see whether and you can see the document just opens up in Work Web Preview, and you have the ability to kind of scroll through and see whether that answer was right or wrong. But more importantly, as the document opens up in this preview mode, notice how, and you can see here it's the Northwind Traders of Ferguson and Bardwell and Lake and Sons, and you can see that it gave me the result. But more importantly, when you open the document, you also have the ability to interact with the document, because you can see here there is an AI agent that's available to you. So with this AI agent, I'm just going to start a new conversation here, and now I can simply chat with this document. Now, obviously, this is a two-page document, and there's not a lot to ask because I can easily read through a two-page document. But what if it's like some sort of a standard lease contract or a complex contract which is 200-300 pages long? So this ability to chat with the document becomes extremely powerful. For this two-page document, I'm feeling a little bit lazy. I'm not going to read it. I'm simply going to ask my agent right in the document preview window in the iManage to summarize this document for me in some easy, human-readable, simple bullet points of what this 22 competitive advantage document is talking about. The KLapper agent gets into action very quickly, and it will draft me a set of bullet points summarizing the entire document for me. Now, it's irrelevant whether the document's 2 pages or 20 pages or 200 pages or frankly 2,000 pages. because the what is powering behind the scenes is the MCP server, the Model Context Protocol server that KLapper ships for iManage, and very soon we'll be integrating with the iManage MCP server as well, where it's able to understand, it's already understood the data within that iManage repository. And so it's taking into consideration the current logged in user's context, the current context I'm in, which is the document context, the prompt that I used to ask that question, which also constitutes the current context, and sends it to the private LLM, which is running in your Azure tenant. So from an end-to-end perspective, the entire context window, including sending the query to your LLM, is 100% private. So the prompt never leaves your tenant, and the response never leaves your tenant, including the document and the data and the metadata and the security never leaves your tenant. So while we were talking, this agent very quickly summarized this document for me, just giving me all the key points that I need to care about. And you can see the context is the current document. And many of you already know this, that in generative AI, context matters. So with our agent, context is everything. The agent that's running within iManage Work Web here. Because it always takes into consideration the current context the user is in, so that the responses are more accurate. As I kind of drill into this in these folders, the context becomes more and more narrow. Or if I go all the way up, the context becomes more and more broad. So the agent is always context aware. It's context aware of the location here in iManage. It's context aware of the person you are and the security credentials and the ACL access control list you have on the content and the walls membership that you have. Let me show you one more example. This example is going to be more around a lease agreement that I have in this location that I know exists somewhere. I'm not sure where it is, but I know it exists somewhere. But I'm going to ask my agent to go through a couple of lease agreements I have in one of these hidden folders or hierarchical folders here. I'm going to simply ask it to go through. I can name the lease agreement by name just in case I know the name. Let's say it's Contoso Inc. I can always say Contoso Inc. lease agreement, so to get more context for the prompt to get the right result from my MCP server. But in this case, I know that I have only a couple of lease agreements. I'm just going to send the prompt. So the agent gets into action again. But now, instead of giving me kind of the two data points I was after, was the competitors for Northern Traders in my previous prompt, this one is I'm actually asking you to extract out key action items, deadlines, responsibilities, and all the cool stuff from the lease agreement. I just kept it generic, not being specific here. So you can see here it extracted out based on around 3 lease agreements that I have here, one test document, a couple of other documents, and it gave me a quick summary of the key action items, the key deadlines that I need to care about, and the responsibilities. And I can simply look at that lease agreement by clicking into that agreement and having a look at it in Work Web preview. And this agreement I can then basically chat with, like the same way you saw before. So the key takeaway here is that with our AI agent surfaced right within iManage Work Web, you have contextual intelligence. You can chat with the workspace. You can chat with hierarchy of folders within the workspace, or chat with a specific document. So that's our chatting feature. But what about creating feature, drafting feature? With our AI agent running right within iManage Work Web, you have the ability to create documents in iManage. You don't have to leave iManage to create documents in iManage. So let's have a look at this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use a new conversation, and we're going to use a new prompt here called create document. The create document for KLapper agent is a system prompt. It's a command. So when you use create document, or we have one more command called create multiple documents, which we'll look at in a second. Create document basically lets you create a document in iManage using a template and a set of boilerplate documents. So as soon as I click on the Create Document in iManage button, an interaction starts, a wizard. And the wizard asks me, basically, the first question is select document template. So I'm going to go and select my document template in my workspace. That could be, frankly, anywhere in iManage. So I'm going to go and grab that, which I know exists right here. So I'm just going to go into a document here. I'm going to grab that template. And I'm going to next basically use control documents to feed documents to the template. So basically the idea is that these control documents serves to understand the content better and help answer the questions that might be in the template document. So I can add n number of documents from many different workspaces, from folders to subfolders to completely different workspaces. And I can add them as control documents. And I can initiate a learning on that, which will automatically go off. Let me pick a couple of documents here that I have as sample. And I can simply start learning. And then the last step in the process would be to save the document to a location. So with this, I can completely automate the creation of a document based on an existing template by feeding it control documents or template documents, documents that form as a baseline for filling out the template document or the different placeholders within the template document. And I can rinse and repeat with a different prompt called create multiple documents for creating multiple documents out of multiple templates. So we are working with firms that have multiple templates and multiple boilerplates that needs to be, an instance needs to be created for each template boilerplate combo. KLapper was able to successfully create approximately for 4 templates, approximately 10 boilerplate documents, around 40 instances, 4 templates, 10 boilerplates, around 40 instances of document, literally within 15 to 20 minutes. A process that would take many weeks for this firm. So with the ability to kind of chat within iManage, with the ability to create documents within iManage out of 1 or more templates with 1 or more playbook documents or boilerplate documents fed to that process, and creating documents becomes a breeze with KLapper agent running right within iManage. So that's our iManage plugin in action. Before we go on to the next section of this, I just want to do a quick recap of what we just saw. So the key takeaways from that demo was that you have this agent running in a private context using your private LLM, which is hosted on Azure, and the KLapper agent itself is hosted on Azure, running right within iManage workspace, which means that you don't have to leave iManage to surface iManage intelligence. It's always contextual, it's current, which means that there is no syncing and learning and all this stuff. The context matters for any LLM query you do through a prompt, and is always current. If you remove somebody's access from the walls, it automatically removes it from its response. It's always current. And last but not the least, it works with iManage Cloud, as well as iManage Work Server and .work Cloud. For those, the last two mentioned, the on-prem version of the .work Cloud, you have to sideload our KLapper agent. And if you have more interest in what sideloading means, you can reach out to us on chat here. I'll leave my contact details. But for Cloud iManage customers, it's available today within as an approved app in the iManage store. So as I move on to the next part of the demo, which is our Outlook agent. So KLapper, how an agent with an Outlook can help you reply to emails and draft emails. Before I do that, I want to open up a quick survey just to gauge the audience in terms of what you just saw and how that could potentially benefit your firm. So please do respond to the couple of survey questions that we're going to open up right now. So what I'm about to show you here while you respond to that survey is an email that I received from Bill, one of the fictitious customers for this demo. And this person is asking me to respond to this NDA by providing a signed version. Now, instead of contacting an attorney, what I want to do is save some time. And basically, I know that I have access to a document which is about approved NDA in our iManage repository. So as a reply to this email, I simply clicked on reply, and I clicked on the KLapper add-in that is right within Outlook. And within that add-in, I'm actually going to go ahead and pick my NDA playbook, my firm-approved NDA playbook, to basically, and ask KLapper to go and compare that document with the NDA playbook and tell me whether I should even sign that document, or get back to Bill and say, look, this is the reason I cannot sign because I need these updates done to the confidentiality clause. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my NDA template, and I'm going to simply say start learning. Now, prior to the demo, just to save time, I already did that. As you can see here, the document is already learned, and it appears here. Just to show you how the document looks, you can click on that and load up the document in iManage Previewer, where this document is our standard non-disclosure agreement. And this is a document I received from that fictitious customer. So, and in my prompt, I'm simply going to ask my agent to review this email thread and review the attachment, but in the context of my iManage playbook document, NDA playbook document, and I'm asking it to highlight any deviations to the confidentiality clause. So I'm going to simply click on submit now. And what KLapper does now is basically starts analyzing the email thread. It analyzes the document attachment or attachments if you have multiple attachments. And it analyzes the context document I fed it from iManage, the playbook document. And it intelligently creates a draft email for me that I can simply accept. I can simply accept this, and it basically tells the recipient, in this case Bill or William, that look, these are the sections that I need further clarification or edits before I sign it. So you can use this add-in for writing emails, brand new emails, or replying back to very long or very short, or whatever the case might be, email threads with or without attachments. And you can also feed it contextual data from your local computer by dragging and dropping those documents, or selecting it from your favorite DMS, which is NetDocuments or iManage, or even SharePoint. And that's where we are different than, let's say, something like Copilot that Microsoft ships with an email, because context matters. So when you give it a better context, because Copilot only learns the thread, the email thread, it doesn't have the access to your legal tech KM platforms like iManage or NetDocs or even SharePoint or even your other sources from SQL and whatnot. So by providing it additional context here, by using this context setter, I have the ability to give it more context, which means that the response I get from the agent will be a lot more relevant, a lot more useful, and a lot more ready for me to send to the recipient. So that's our KLapper add-in working right within Microsoft Outlook. We support both Classic Outlook. As you can see, I'm using Classic Outlook, which personally I like, but we also support Outlook for Web, so Outlook Web Access, and the modern Outlook, or the new version of the Outlook. I see that a fair number of questions are being posted on the chat. I will address these questions right towards the end of this presentation in a couple of minutes' time. The last plugin or add-on I want to show you, continuing on this journey of KLapper add-ins for surfacing intelligence where attorneys work, is first I showed you iManage, Work Web, Outlook next. The next one I'm going to show you is Microsoft Word. So obviously, most of the audience here would have seen Microsoft Outlook, Microsoft Word-based review redlining tools. There are really nice tools out there in the market. But why one more tool? Well, a couple of reasons. KLapper is a private AI platform. No other vendor in the market offers a redlining capability tool except for Copilot but that doesn't have the context setting that I'm going to talk about, that has the ability to run within your tenant. So this entire document never leaves your tenant. It doesn't get uploaded to some third-party vendor, even if they have the ISOs and the SOC certification. You know that some client agreements you just can't use AI on. But with those agreements, you can use KLapper on, because KLapper technically is a private application within your Azure tenant. So this Word add-in is basically going to use your private KLapper application hosted on a private LLM, which is your Azure OpenAI, Azure Claude. And effectively what we're going to do here is open the KLapper add-in in Microsoft Word. I have this NDA document, in fact, the same document I received from the customer. And I've fed it context documents from iManage, similar demo, like the Outlook demo, where I was able to go to iManage or NetDocs for that matter. I go searching for my document, my playbook document, my gold standard document, and I've simply fed the document, and I'm asking it to basically go and learn it so I can set that context and give it a good prompt so it can redline this document for me with a very specific set of instructions. Now, I'm sure you've seen something like this before with a prompt that updates a document. But what you would not have seen is what I'm about to show you, where it takes into consideration a context document from iManage, and I'm also asking it to update a bullet point. In fact, if you notice here, I'm asking it to update a required disclosure clause that I know in our gold standard document is defined in a better way and more of an acceptable language compared to what is here. So I'm doing a prompt saying that add some additional points to the required disclosure and update existing clause to align with the KLST NDA. Now, why this is a big deal is notice the formatting. Let's play this. So you can see the formatting is very interesting here. You can see the formatting, required disclosure has underlined, but there's no dot. There's no underline on the dot. There are two other bullet points, A and B. So most of the tools, you would see that they suffer from formatting issues when these kind of things come back. So when I accept the formatting on this, you would see that formatting will be preserved. They can see that it immediately did the formatting of that section so that it doesn't break the formatting. You saw the legal order was bold. It preserves the bold. You saw it's also preserving the underline of the required disclosure to the granular level, so it doesn't accidentally underline the dot. But those are very important points. The reason for that being KLapper for Word add-in that it uses OpenXML to modify the Word DOM, not WordML. So we do modifications of the document at the OpenXML level, which helps us format the document more tighter and not cause those issues. All right. So what is the key takeaway for our Outlook and Word add-in quickly? I'm just going to put this up here, and we're going to take some questions. For the Outlook add-in, obviously context-aware drafting is very important, where you can feed documents. Both for Outlook and Word, we can feed documents from iManage or NetDocs or SharePoint or any of the other tools, including a local computer. And the richness of the response with a fully formatted that also preserves existing formatting that you have. Okay. So I'm going to take some questions here quickly. I have a bunch of questions that come up. We will be sharing these presentations with you as a post follow-up. But the question on this chat I see is, is it supported for iManage Work Server? Yes. So I answered the question before. It is supported. So you can sideload the iManage KLapper add-in for iManage Work Web to your iManage Work Server or .work cloud. One more question being asked is, could data from Litera interfere with document creation? As long as the document is following a standard format in Microsoft Word and there's no injected markup from the third-party tool set, because we are modifying the document at an open XML level, we do not see any issues with that, but you can always reach out to me or scan that QR code if you want to set up a private meeting with me to discuss that further. We are out of time, unfortunately. Thank you so much for attending the webinar. Hopefully this was useful. We will share a recording of this webinar along with this presentation and any other post follow-up questions and answers to that. Thank you so much. Have a great day.